Good evening. Tonight, a developing story inside royal circles is stirring renewed conversation about legacy, loyalty, and the future direction of the monarchy. In a development that has sent subtle ripples through royal circles, Prince William has reportedly assumed management of one of Queen Elizabeth II's private estates, a property distinct from the Crown estate, held as a personal asset of the late Queen. The move was quiet, deliberate, and executed without fanfare, sparking questions among insiders and speculation among palace watchers worldwide. Perhaps most intriguing, members of Queen Camilla's extended family were not included in the arrangement. Observers are now debating what this exclusion could signify, both in terms of family dynamics and the subtle orchestration of royal legacy. The estate, long rumored to be a personal retreat for the late Queen, is described as a serene property nestled in the English countryside. While the exact location remains undisclosed, sources suggest it is a manor with sprawling grounds, mature woodlands, and a historic charm befitting a monarch's private residence. Unlike publicly held royal properties, which are maintained through government funding and subject to transparency regulations, private estates like this one are personally owned. Decisions about inheritance, management, and access are therefore entirely at the discretion of the current owner. In this case, now Prince William. Royal historians note that personal estates carry a different weight than crown holdings. They are spaces where monarchs exercised personal discretion, entertained family privately, and cultivated a legacy independent of state obligations. In assuming control, William has inherited not just property, but decades of private royal history. Sources indicate the transfer occurred behind closed doors, in a process designed to avoid public scrutiny. Legal documents, trusteeships, and succession plans were reportedly executed discreetly, with only a handful of senior advisors aware of the full scope. "The Crown estate is public. This is private," explains a palace insider. William is acting as both heir and custodian. This was not an administrative move. It was a deliberate personal decision by the late Queen. The timing, too, is noteworthy. While William has been gradually assuming greater responsibility for royal duties and estate management, the decision to control this particular property, separate from any public or ceremonial obligation, demonstrates both foresight and a focus on consolidating personal stewardship within the family line. Perhaps the most talked about aspect of the transition is the exclusion of Queen Camilla's extended family. While the late Queen reportedly had warm relations with Camilla, sources suggest she maintained a clear boundary between her personal estates and any claims or interests of in-laws. Camilla's family was never in line to inherit these private assets, explains a royal observer. These estates are not part of the crown. They were personal to Queen Elizabeth, and she had the right to decide who would take responsibility. Some palace watchers speculate that William's assumption of control reinforces a subtle, ongoing delineation of influence within the royal family. Public and ceremonial roles remain shared, while personal estates reinforce direct lineage and the centrality of Elizabeth's heirs. Managing a private estate of this stature is more than a symbolic gesture. It involves oversight of historic buildings and gardens, management of staff and residential operations, administration of long-term family trusts and financial instruments. William's role positions him as both custodian and steward, controlling not only the property's physical assets, but also its legacy. The exclusion of Camilla's family subtly signals that key personal legacies of the late Queen are concentrated within her direct descendants, rather than extended in-laws. Some experts argue this may influence public perception. By controlling private estates independently, William demonstrates both continuity and authority, reinforcing his leadership role within the monarchy beyond ceremonial duties. The British monarchy has a long history of separating personal and state-owned assets. Estates like Balmoral, Sandringham, and smaller private properties have traditionally been passed along family lines according to the monarch's wishes. Queen Elizabeth herself was known for meticulous planning. She reportedly ensured that personal holdings would remain in the family line, managed with discretion, and insulated from external claims. William's recent move appears to follow precisely that model, emphasizing continuity, stability, and private oversight. Though no formal statement has been released, insiders hint at a spectrum of reactions. Loyalists to William reportedly view the move as prudent and forward-looking. Some observers suggest subtle tension among extended family members, particularly those excluded from the estate's management. Courtiers note that while no overt conflict has emerged, whispered discussions about precedence, inheritance, and influence are likely to continue. The broader significance is clear. Private estates remain instruments not just of wealth, but of influence, shaping relationships, access, and the dynamics of power within the royal family. What stands out most is the silence surrounding the transfer. Unlike public estate announcements, media coverage has been minimal, and William has made no official statement. It's classic royal discretion, says a historian. The estate exists in the private sphere, and William respects that. There's no need to fan flames publicly when the decision can speak for itself. By acting quietly, William reinforces the principle that not all power is performed on stage. Some legacies are preserved in shadow, maintained by those entrusted with responsibility. While Camilla's family was excluded, her role as queen consort remains unaffected in ceremonial and public capacities. Observers emphasize that this estate transfer does not diminish her influence in the monarchy's broader operations, including patronages, public appearances, and charity oversight. However, the decision underscores an important distinction. Personal assets controlled by direct heirs are separate from consort influence. By keeping the estate within Elizabeth's direct lineage, William consolidates long-term family authority and secures a tangible link to his grandmother's personal legacy. The move also reinforces the continuity of royal succession in practical terms. Beyond the title of king or queen, heirs increasingly assume control over tangible assets, reflecting a modern approach to monarchy. Stewardship is both ceremonial and operational. William's quiet control ensures that family wealth, traditions, and historical estates remain aligned with his line, allowing the monarchy to balance public duties with private legacies. Despite minimal official comment, speculation has already begun among royal watchers. How will William utilize the estate? Will it serve as a private retreat for the family? Could future royal events be hosted there? Will other family members eventually gain access, or will it remain strictly under William's oversight? The silence fuels intrigue, a hallmark of royal estate management. In many ways, the lack of transparency enhances the estate's mystique, reinforcing its status as a private sanctuary. Ultimately, the transfer serves as a testament to Queen Elizabeth's careful planning. By selecting William as custodian, she ensured the property remains aligned with her values: discretion, continuity, and respect for family lineage. Experts note that while public headlines often focus on ceremonial roles, the stewardship of private estates represents a more enduring form of authority, one that can shape family dynamics, legacy, and historical narrative for generations. William's move exemplifies modern monarchy in action, consolidating influence without public conflict, preserving family heritage through tangible assets, demonstrating prudence and responsibility in estate management. By quietly taking control of the private estate, William not only honors his grandmother's legacy, but also cements his position as a measured, capable heir who balances duty with discretion. The quiet assumption of control over Queen Elizabeth II's private estate signals a significant moment in royal family dynamics. It highlights the ongoing separation of public and private royal assets, strategic consolidation of influence within Elizabeth's direct descendants, discretion as a tool of governance and legacy preservation, the careful navigation of family expectations and historical precedent. For William, it is both a practical responsibility and a symbolic act, one that underscores his role as custodian of history, heritage, and the personal legacy of one of Britain's most iconic monarchs. The private estate that William now manages is more than just acres of land and stately rooms. According to historians and palace insiders, it has been a cherished retreat for decades, often used by Queen Elizabeth II to escape the formalities of public life. Architecture. The main house features a blend of classic Georgian design with Victorian additions, reflecting layers of royal taste over generations. High ceilings, wood-paneled libraries, and private drawing rooms speak to a time when monarchs valued both function and intimacy. Gardens, manicured gardens, intricate mazes, and seasonal flower beds were cultivated personally by the Queen's gardeners, but often overseen by Elizabeth herself. The gardens were more than decorative. They were spaces for reflection, family gatherings, and quiet diplomacy. Private chapels and hidden nooks. For decades, the estate has hosted moments of private worship, personal reflection, and family celebrations. These areas, shielded from public scrutiny, provided a sanctuary from the pressures of the crown. By taking over the estate, William inherits not just property, but a living testament to the late Queen's personal tastes, priorities, and values. Unlike many royal heirs who delegate private property management, sources suggest William is deeply involved in decision-making regarding the estate. From garden planning to staffing, he reportedly takes a measured approach that reflects both respect for tradition and a modern, practical sensibility. Gardens and grounds. William is said to spend hours consulting with horticulturalists, preserving rare plantings while encouraging sustainability practices, a nod to environmental stewardship. Staff management. The household staff, historically loyal to the Queen, now report to William. Palace insiders say he has handled transitions with tact, balancing continuity with the introduction of new procedures. Private family retreats. William has already started using the estate as a private family retreat, taking his children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, to explore the grounds, learn history, and connect with family legacy in an intimate setting away from the public eye. By personally overseeing these operations, William demonstrates an understanding that stewardship is not merely ceremonial. It is hands-on, deliberate, and strategic. The decision to exclude Camilla's family from the estate has sparked palace speculation. While no public statements have been made, sources indicate that the choice was guided by tradition, discretion, and long-term legacy planning. Historical precedent. Private estates historically passed through direct lineage rather than extended in-laws. Elizabeth's personal holdings were no exception. Preservation of legacy. By consolidating control within her direct descendants, the late Queen ensured that her vision for the estate would remain aligned with the family's core line of succession. Subtle tensions. While Camilla's family reportedly remains cordial, palace insiders suggest private discussions reflect curiosity and mild frustration over the exclusion. Some have quietly asked if future arrangements might allow access, but no formal requests have been granted. Royal commentators argue that this decision does not diminish Camilla's public role or ceremonial authority. It simply reinforces the principle that private legacies are distinct from public influence. Private estates in the British monarchy carry more than sentimental value. They are instruments of influence. William's control over this estate sends subtle messages. 1. Consolidation of family authority. By managing the property, William reinforces his position as the central figure in Elizabeth's direct line. 2. Subtle public messaging. While the transfer is discreet, insiders say palace staff and courtiers interpret it as a signal that William is entrusted with both public and private legacy. 3. Influence over future generations. By introducing George, Charlotte, and Louis to the estate, William not only preserves tradition but also instills values of stewardship and responsibility in the next generation. In short, the estate functions as both a private sanctuary and a tool for continuity, subtly shaping perceptions of lineage and authority. Although the estate transfer excluded her family, Camilla's public role remains unaffected. Sources emphasize that she continues to serve as queen consort with full engagement in public duties, charities, and patronages. Yet insiders hint that she is aware of the symbolic implications. The estate consolidates William's personal authority. It ensures Elizabeth's direct lineage retains control over her private holdings. It subtly reinforces the distinction between consort influence and bloodline inheritance. Royal analysts note that Camilla, experienced in navigating delicate dynamics, is likely to maintain composure publicly while privately observing how control of the estate may shape future family interactions. Even in silence, the estate has captured public imagination. Social media channels and royal commentary platforms have speculated endlessly. Could William host private royal events here? Will future monarchs use the estate as a retreat for family education? Does this reinforce the idea that William is being groomed for leadership beyond ceremonial duties? The mystery surrounding the property enhances its aura, drawing attention without requiring a single public statement. Observers suggest that William understands this. Discretion in estate management is itself a demonstration of power. William's oversight of the estate carries practical and symbolic significance. It is an opportunity to preserve family heritage while actively managing a tangible asset, demonstrate leadership without relying on media spectacle, establish a precedent for heirs balancing ceremonial duties with private stewardship, prepare the next generation for responsibility, continuity, and discreet influence. By quietly taking control, William signals that the future of the monarchy involves careful guardianship of both public and private domains. Managing a historic private estate is not without challenges. Maintenance costs. Historic properties require continuous upkeep, from structural repairs to landscape preservation. Staffing and operations. Transitioning staff, loyalty, and operational procedures demands careful diplomacy. Security and privacy. Ensuring both physical safety and discretion from media scrutiny is paramount. Family expectations. While direct descendants inherit control, extended family members may navigate curiosity, resentment, or requests for access. Sources suggest William is approaching each challenge methodically, consulting advisors, historians, and estate managers to preserve both the Queen's vision and his own legacy. One of the most noteworthy aspects of William's oversight is how he integrates his children. Hands-on learning. The children are reportedly encouraged to explore gardens, historical archives, and estate management practices. Instilling responsibility. Lessons in stewardship, family legacy, and privacy are subtly embedded in daily routines. Legacy awareness. Exposure to historical documents and personal artifacts fosters a sense of continuity and respect for family heritage. These experiences reinforce William's broader vision that royal duty is both public and private, ceremonial and operational. William's quiet assumption of control illustrates a modern approach to monarchy. 1. Discretion as strategy. Managing private assets without public fanfare protects family legacy while signaling authority. 2. Direct oversight. Personal involvement ensures that the property reflects both Elizabeth's intentions and William's vision. 3. Preparation for leadership. Handling complex estates trains heirs in responsibility, diplomacy, and legacy management. 4. Separation of influence. Excluding in-laws clarifies lines of authority while still respecting ceremonial partnerships. The decision highlights a central principle. Legacy is preserved through action, not announcements. In a world of constant media attention, Prince William's management of Queen Elizabeth's private estate demonstrates the quiet power of discretion. He honors the late Queen's vision. He preserves a tangible link to family history. He sets a precedent for future generations, balancing public visibility with private responsibility. While palace watchers may speculate endlessly about the exclusion of Camilla's family, the deeper story is clear. William is consolidating both stewardship and legacy, ensuring that the Queen's personal property remains a living testament to history, discretion, and direct lineage. In doing so, he is not just managing a property, he is shaping the monarchy's private future. While the estate transfer was executed quietly, word quickly spread among senior palace staff. Sources suggest that some aides were initially caught off guard by the rapid consolidation of control under Prince William. Private courtiers. Courtiers have reportedly speculated that the late Queen deliberately bypassed Camilla's extended family to reinforce direct line inheritance, ensuring the property remains under Elizabeth's immediate descendants. Camilla's inner circle. While no public complaint has emerged, insiders hint at private discussions where some members of Camilla's family expressed mild concern over access and legacy considerations. Royal historians note this is not unusual. In the past, consort families were rarely given management rights to personal estates. Extended family dynamics. The decision has subtly reinforced hierarchy within the family. William now holds both symbolic and operational authority over the property, solidifying his role as a linchpin between historical legacy and future stewardship. Palace watchers emphasize that these internal whispers, though quiet, have long-term implications for the balance of influence among royal family branches. Understanding this estate's legal status is critical to appreciating William's authority. Private estate. Unlike the Crown Estate, which is administered by trustees on behalf of the state, this property is entirely personal to the late Queen. Control and inheritance decisions are legally binding and are insulated from governmental oversight. Trusts and succession planning. According to legal experts, the property may be held in a trust designed to ensure smooth succession. William's role is therefore both executive and fiduciary, granting him oversight of both assets and operational management. Implications for Camilla's family. Legally, the exclusion of in-laws is fully permissible under private estate law. While the decision may carry symbolic weight, it is unlikely to result in formal dispute unless challenged, which sources suggest is improbable given Elizabeth's meticulous documentation of her wishes. Royal analysts note that the legal clarity surrounding private estates gives William both authority and flexibility. He can manage, modify, or expand operations as he sees fit, without external interference. Although William has not issued a statement, media speculation has flourished. Historical narrative. Publications emphasize that the property represents a direct, personal link to Queen Elizabeth, a tangible expression of her legacy separate from ceremonial holdings. Comparisons to Balmoral and Sandringham. Analysts draw parallels with other royal retreats, noting that while public perception focuses on grandeur, the real importance lies in continuity and private governance. Social media, buzz. Royal fan accounts and historians have begun dissecting available satellite imagery, historic photographs, and archival references to piece together the estate's significance, increasing public curiosity. Despite intense scrutiny, William's discretion ensures that no confirmed details leak, maintaining both mystery and prestige. This transfer underscores a subtle but profound point about monarchy in the 21st century. Heirs are expected to balance public duty with private responsibility. By assuming control of the estate, 1. William strengthens lineage authority. Control over personal assets aligns him directly with Elizabeth's legacy, reinforcing the heir's centrality. 2. Education for next generation. Introducing George, Charlotte, and Louis to estate management is not ceremonial. It is a practical lesson in stewardship, responsibility, and family heritage. 3. Strategic positioning. The estate can act as a private retreat for negotiations, private meetings, or historical reflection, all under William's oversight, increasing his autonomy in family and royal affairs. Royal commentators argue that this model may become a blueprint for future monarchs, private assets as instruments of legacy, managed proactively by heirs. The estate's significance extends beyond ownership. It is a living chronicle of British royal history. Key elements: artifacts and archives, private documents, photographs, and heirlooms provide insight into Elizabeth's personal life, family decisions, and intimate royal ceremonies. William's oversight ensures these treasures remain preserved and accessible to his line. Architectural preservation. By personally directing restorations and maintenance, William honors Elizabeth's aesthetic choices and sustains historical integrity. Cultural legacy. The estate embodies traditions, seasonal customs, and educational opportunities for the younger royals, serving as a bridge between historical precedent and modern practice. Historians suggest that control over such estates is as impactful as ceremonial authority. In many ways, it defines the tangible legacy left for future generations. William's approach highlights a nuanced strategy: silence as power. The quieter the transition, the less public scrutiny, and the more control he retains. Operational involvement. Hands-on oversight reinforces credibility, signaling that stewardship is earned, not symbolic. Legacy consolidation. By keeping the estate within the immediate family, William ensures Elizabeth's vision persists without complication from extended familial claims. In effect, the estate becomes a tool of influence, education, and continuity, blending tradition with modern leadership. Royal watchers have proposed several potential uses for the estate. 1. Private family retreat. Hosting William's family, including George, Charlotte, and Louis, to instill historical knowledge and familial responsibility. 2. Historical archive. Hub. Storing personal artifacts and private royal records for study, reflection, and education. 3. Exclusive diplomatic meetings. A secure private environment for discussions away from public scrutiny. 4. Philanthropic initiatives. Utilizing estate resources to support charitable endeavors in line with Elizabeth's personal causes. While speculative, these possibilities align with William's known preferences for discretion, education, and family engagement. Prince William's quiet assumption of Queen Elizabeth's private estate exemplifies the delicate balance between tradition, personal authority, and public perception. Key takeaways: discretion preserves power. By acting quietly, William maintains control without igniting conflict. Legacy remains. Central, the estate secures Elizabeth's personal vision, ensuring continuity across generations. Influence without ceremony. Control over private assets reinforces authority beyond public roles or ceremonial duties. Educational opportunity. Introducing the next generation ensures values of stewardship, history, and responsibility are preserved. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe my channel